Hey guys, welcome back to the program. Welcome back to the DeeTimeLove show. You join me, yes, at WatchPro. We finally made it, guys, at WatchPro, the DeeTimeLove channel, perpetual time, A to Z of watches. To all our trusted partners, we're going to give you a showcase all around the show, guys. It's going to be fantastic. Guys, I'm really excited to see the likes of Czapek, Laurent Ferrier, Grand Seiko Prospects, Cyrus, just to name a few. There's a hell of a lot going on here today at WatchPro Salon Live. There's over 50 brands. We're going to be here over 2 days. We're going to be covering the event. It's going to be fantastic, guys. Let's change perspective and take a closer look at the brands exhibiting. Hey guys, we are now at this Squale stand and we have got some of the guys behind the brand. So guys, would you like to introduce yourself and who you are in the organization?
Hi, I'm Fabio Ferrari, General Manager of Squale from Switzerland.
And I'm Ian Broad, I'm the UK Sales Agent for Squale.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, guys, welcome to the WatchPro Salon event live. How are you finding the show so far?
It's an amazing show, very well organized. Everything is perfect, so just a little bit tired because of working, but it's a really, really nice place to be.
Fantastic. We also saw you guys at World Time UK. It was a pleasant experience, I have to say. But you've got something new you'd like to show me today, which is an exclusive to the UK.
Yes, exactly.
Let's have a closer look.
We launched a new collection. It's a new skin diver 38mm that's called Super Squale. It's a model that came from the past, and we decided with our UK agent to give one exclusive version that is exactly this one.
Okay, let's have a look.
To all the UK dealers. It's a it's a brown color, and it will be available only for all the UK dealers.
Fantastic. So we will see if it gets our watchmakers' approval. And
listen, I can see the finish on it is beautiful. Look, the way the shoulders are done.
Yeah.
And the strap as well. Has a very kind of retro feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an Italian hands-made leather strap.
And the click is very precise.
Yeah, it has the same structure of the old case, made in the past by the founder of Squale von Buren, and we just replicate the construction. For sure, we innovate with a double dome glass with anti-reflecting coating.
I can see how the actual glass domes, and it also makes the actual indexes, the actual larger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From the outside, you can see. But I like the way it domes. It gives it that vintage sort of feel, doesn't it?
It's the vintage style, exactly.
Yeah,
in the past, for sure, it was not sapphire, but now you have to adapt with the new technologies to always be aligned with the time.
So the brass finish is beautiful, isn't it? I really like it.
Yeah, the design is absolutely faithful to the 1960s edition of this watch.
And the pearl as well, the way it's kind of aged as well, the patina. What do you think, Dee?
yeah, it's a fantastic piece, I have to say. I mean, probably the biggest highlight, just looking at this, is the way the anti-reflective coating allows you to enjoy the actual piece. You know, just the way, just look at that dial, the way it plays with the light, fantastic. Let me just have a look at it myself there. Look at the way it plays with the light, guys. It's absolutely stunning.
The way the way it domes up is just, it looks so much better than a flat glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much better. And what's the movement inside?
The Selita SV200 elaborate grade. We made 5 different versions that are free with a vintage style that are linked with an Italian handmade leather strap, and then you have also 2 much more modern style because we wanted to create something new, and you can see them here. They come with a strap that is leather, but with a finishing, with a rubbering finishing that is make it more water resistant. For sure, it's always leather, so it's not water resistant, but it is a little bit more. It has improved, let's say, the water resistant feature of the strap. Then all of them will come also with the steel bracelet. That is the same bracelet that used to be on the old models made by Von Buren in the past, and the bracelet will be for sure available to all other models, not only the black one you see here.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, Fabio, when you wake up every day and you go into your showroom, Fabio, what gives you the biggest smile when you look at the lineup that you have in your collection?
It's an hard question, but simple at the same time. Hard because you like almost all the watches you make, because if
yes.
you make them, it's because
of course.
you like.
I've put you on the spot here, but I want to show you one that me and my partner absolutely love. And look at the different color variations, the aesthetic, the design. But that blue, what do you call that blue?
We don't have a special name for that.
It's not the Italian Azzurri blue?
Let's say it comes from a special color from the sea, because Andrea Maggi, the owner of Squale, decided to create this blue when he saw it on the sea, swimming in the sea in Italy. Beautiful. But we don't have a name, but it's probably one of the most appreciated blue from people.
So I'd like to do a big shout out to Andreas from Local Time, who is an authorised dealer at Cyprus, Nicosia. He absolutely loves Squale. Yeah. And, Squale don't really get the credit they deserve. They actually do have a lot of history and pedigree behind the brand. Do you want to basically just talk a little bit about the pedigree of the brand, the history? Because a lot of people just think you're just some micro brand. They don't know that actually there's a lot more depth in regards to the brand. Talk to us about the history of the brand, Fabio.
Yeah, Squale, behind his name has a huge history, you're right, because in the 50s, when the big names of the watch industry were creating the first dive watch, Squale was a watchmaker, and he was involved in studying and developing a diving watch too. If you go to Neuchâtel, there's a place called Maison du Plongée, and it's a small house that was financed by the big names of the watch industry, and Squale too. Mr. Von Buren, the founder, was the president of the board to create this small house that has one specific reason, and this reason was to test, to give to the divers of the lake of Neuchâtel the possibility to test watches, because machine didn't exist in that year. And they start to be, they gave the opportunity to test in a concrete way all the watches were made. And he was one of the pioneers of the watchmaking diving industry. And then in 1959 he decided to launch his own brand that's called Squale. But you can find some other Squale watches that were not made only for Squale, but also for other brands, like a supplier for other brands. Looking at the small little shark at our 6 on the watches, where you find also a second brand because of this. Because he used to produce for the big names of the watch industry.
Fantastic, fantastic. And sorry, Alex, do you want to just
check this piece here, this very vintage GMT look?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks really nice.
The bezel looks like a Bakelite bezel with the GMT hand in red.
Yeah, this is one of the first GMTs in our collection, and it's based on the Sub 49 case, another case made by Von Buren in the 60s. And for sure, the unique difference than the normal models, the other version in the collection, is the bezel that is bidirectional because of the GMT's nature. But it's a 300 meters watch, so it's always a dive watch.
Show us to the camera, Alex. Let's have a look. Give it closer. Look at that, guys. Fantastic.
So the movement in this is not an it's not an SW200, is it?
For sure, no. It's a S-Boot 330.
I could tell from the wind.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It's a different wind, isn't it? Yeah, I just love that Bakelite style bezel.
It has an old style because this collection is belong to our heritage segment of the collection, and Andrea, when he decided to create to make this watch, he wanted to do something always related to the past, especially with this version.
Can I ask why the crown is like an onion? It's not onion, sorry. It's like it's kind of chamfer.
Show us on the camera. Look at that, guys. You know, put it.
It's also a weird, yes.
I like how the thread is outer thread.
Yeah, it's.
That's a good design. I like that.
It's still the history behind this collection replies to your question, because we found a watch on the wrist of the founder's daughters, and it was the same of this in 34 millimeters, so a completely different size, exactly in this way. So with that crown, with that structure, also if you feel the bezel turns different from the other collection watches, because it's the same structure of the old one. So we wanted to replicate exactly as it was 6 years ago.
So I love that vintage look.
It's my favourite.
Yeah, I prefer a watch that's modern, that has a vintage look rather than a vintage
It's
watch.
got that character, hasn't it? It's a bit like what you get with classic cars.
Exactly.
You can't replicate that character in modern cars. It's too clinical, but you get all the benefits of reaping a modern movement.
Oh, look at this thing. Look.
Oh wow, look at that, guys. Fantastic.
Oh my, I was not expecting that. Look at that.
Even
Definitely see the time with that, couldn't you? There's no problem. That's amazing. Can you do that again?
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of layers of Swiss lumen over there, I have to say. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, it really pops the new. In fact, all the Squale watches, it's a really impressive feature of them. If you
what type of Swiss lumen over are you using?
Super Luminova.
C3.
multi-layered.
Like it's multi-layered, yeah.
This is the old many times.
Even if you go outside and then come back indoors, even in the daylight, really the look really pops.
This one's special. If you try, this one is crazy.
Yeah. Some detail on that dial. It's like a mirrored dial. It's like a gloss dial, isn't it? Yeah, the hands are mirrored as well. How much is this?
That was just over £1,000.
They're great value for money, is what I mean, Alex. You know, they at that price point, getting something with a bit of heritage, as well. Well, not just a bit of heritage, something with a bit of pedigree behind it that people don't really know. So I hope guys that are watching the channel, Squale are no ordinary micro brand. They're an established, independent watchmaker. So guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we hope to feature more Squale watches on the channel. But for everyone that's not sure how we pronounce Squale, what's the best way to pronounce the name?
That's a really famous question. The right pronunciation is in French, and it's Squale because it's from Neuchâtel.
Fantastic. So you're an Italian brand, we take it, yeah?
We are a Swiss brand.
Swiss brand, but
Neuchâtel still has with the headquarters in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But the family owner is an Italian.
Of course.
Yeah.
Bellissimo. So thank you for your Bellissimo, guys. Fantastic lineup, Squale guys. I really do get the sense of the med when I see your watches. They've really got a summer vibe, but there's a bit of it, that vintage retro vibe going on as well in your pieces. So you get the best of both worlds. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having the DeeTimeLove channel, A to Z of watches, and our one and only, the world famous watchmaker from Perpetual Time, WatchStep certified, British Horological Institute board member, just a few of his credentials. Guys, take care.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
So far, guys, I'm really enjoying the show. Now we're going to take a closer look at a brand that I'm really excited to showcase to you guys on the channel. We're going to have a closer look at Czapek watches. Let's change perspective and take a closer look at the brand. Guys, we're here at Czapek now, and I'd like to introduce you to someone behind the brand. We have...
My name's Andy Good. I'm the sales agent in the UK.
Fantastic. And I have to say, we've got a lot of supporters and fans of Czapek on the channel. and they keep on asking me many questions about the brand. Do you want to introduce us a little bit to the brand and what you guys do, and basically show us some of the watches that you want to highlight for us on the DeeTimeLove channel today, sir?
Lovely. Love to. So Czapek was relaunched in 2016. It was relaunched with 3 people, Sebastian, Xavier and Harry. Historically, Czapek was a watchmaker from Poland. He emigrated after a war with Russia to Switzerland, where he carried on making watches. In 1839, he met Patek and they set up a company. They made pocket watches. After 6 years, they separated and Czapek went to Paris. He stayed there for about 10 years, then all history of Czapek has disappeared. There's no register of his death, no grave. And then 10 years ago, Harry found the name and relaunched it. And they built it up, and one of the first style of watches was this style of watch, which is called the Kederberg. So what you see on this, you've got a power reserve, which runs from Saturday to Sunday. Historically, if you had a pocket watch back in the 19th century, you'd be going to church, so you'd either wind your pocket watch before church or after church. So this is a manually wound watch.
Wow, that is absolutely beautiful.
So two barrels, 7-day power reserve. So you've got the brushing on the side as well.
Fantastic.
Second hand, you've got the fleur-de-lis hands on this watch, but on other models you can have more modern hands. This watch comes in 2 sizes. This is the large version. There's a slightly smaller version as well.
Oh, so is this the smaller version?
No, this is the larger.
Oh, the larger
version. This is the larger.
What
version.
size is this one? What case diameter?
This one's 42.5.
Fantastic.
Nice size.
And look, it looks absolutely. The dial looks absolutely amazing.
This is the blue sapphire. So this was launched during Geneva Watch Days this year in August. So hopefully we'll start seeing deliveries of this early next year.
Fantastic. And let's have a look at the movement, sir. I mean, it's absolutely, as stunning as it is. The dial, the movement is absolutely fantastic, and I have to say, you really do get the sense of like a horology piece here, guys. Everything is exposed. There's no bridging, hiding that movement. Fantastic. It's beautiful.
Like a sandblast, P-blast on the movement plate.
So with the second generation of this movement, we've tried to open the movement up a little bit, so you actually do see more detail, like Dee has just said, and so you can actually see a lot more of the components and inside of the watch.
For me, it's the blued screws and the way the ratchet wheel is skeletonized. It just, and the way the facets as well, the way they actually kind of grain the wheels.
Yeah,
you know,
chamfering.
Yeah, it's stunning.
So that was the Kederberg, and a more recent introduction to the Czapek collection.
Oh, this is my favourite, which is on my radar.
Passage to Drake.
Fantastic, beautiful.
So this was an idea that came about during COVID. Xavier wanted to launch a sports watch, but he wanted to have it where it's fully integrated. With the start of Czapek, Xavier always wanted to offer people something they could actually customise themselves. So they make a lot of bespoke watches. So with this watch, he still wanted to offer that facility to people to actually just say, there are elements you can choose yourself, rather than just buying the watch. So on this watch, you can choose your own dial. So you can either double battens or a 12 on the dial. The second hand, there's a choice of 3 second hands. Red tip, fully red or still. And on the bracelet, you can choose to have it brushed and polished or fully brushed.
Fantastic.
This is the smaller version, the 38.5 salmon dial.
And I have to say how impressive that movement is.
Stunning, isn't it?
You know,
You've got a micro rotor.
I love that. It looks quite thick, the micro rotor as well, doesn't it? It's,
very thick.
what's that made out of?
Platinum.
Platinum. Wow.
For aesthetic reasons, they wanted to originally to make it out of gold.
Right.
So it had
right.
the look.
The platinum's heavier and denser, isn't it?
Exactly. Correct.
Well,
yeah. So you couldn't get the power reserve with the gold rotor.
it's not
So you
moving.
had to change it to platinum.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, when I look at this movement, I get the sense of horology, Holy Trinity level finishing.
Thank you very much.
I have to say, when I looked at this, when I first was introduced to the brand, a friend of mine was wearing a Vacheron Overseas, and it was very comparable. You couldn't really, obviously he'd be biased because he owned that watch.
Yeah.
But for me, when I held both of them, I thought to myself, you know what, for the price, It's extremely great value. It's available and far more exclusive as well. So really now is the time to get a Czapek, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Before they really blow up, I think.
Sadly, you may have missed the boat there because fortunately the lead time on an Antarctic now is 2 years.
Oh wow! So
yeah, so we've really we stopped taking orders at Watches and Wonder this year from our retailers.
I'm heartbroken now.
Yeah, sorry. So we're going to reopen the order books in April next year. But it was just getting too big for a small brand like Czapek to manage.
Yes.
Can I ask about the dial? Can you tell us about this dial? Because it caught my eye the way it steps up.
Yeah, so they call the dial the stairway to heaven. So the finish is where you've got steps. The original version of the Antarctic, the Tierra Deli, was completely flat and available in different colours. But on this one, yes, you do have that vision of cubes and steps. Yeah. So when you look at it at certain angles, it's like those never-ending staircases.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes round and round and round in a square.
I think you have to see it in the flesh to appreciate it.
It's and then just to give you a contrast, put that one down. This is the deep blue. So if I just compare if I just compare the sizes for you. So here you've got the 40.5 and the 38.5.
Yes. On the camera, you can see a considerable distance. Have a look in real life. Yeah, they're beautiful.
2 millimeters.
I love the way the bracelet articulates as well. It just feels so fluid. Feels like water as well, to be honest with you.
So also on the bracelet, you've got this micro adjustment as well. So which helps, during summertime.
Oh wow, see that, Alex? How it extends there.
You've got this
nice little party trick there.
Got a little micro adjuster.
Yeah.
So which helps during summertime mainly, where we perhaps getting a little bit hotter, you get a little bigger, so you got
wrist expands. Yeah.
That's cool. So this collection comes in 5 dial versions. So you've got the deep blue, the black ink, ice white, glacier blue, and you've got the salmon.
How thin the bracelet is.
Yeah. What's the thickness of the actual dial? Sorry, the case. Sorry, sir.
Oh, I'd have to look at the technical spec.
It looks what, under 10?
See the recess in there.
Yeah, so what we try to do on the side of the case is have this recess, so optically it does look like it's actually thinner than it is.
Right, it does look very thin, doesn't it? I have to say.
And the dome glass as well.
You've got the dome glass on the top as well.
Well, look, let's be honest. Czapek really do have a good heritage as well. If you look at the historical books, if you ask any WatchStep certified watchmaker, and one of my watchmakers said to me, like, there's a lot more to meets the eye of the brand. If you do your research, you realise you're buying not just any old independent watchmaker. They've got a real history, like you mentioned previously. There's a bit of tradition. So if anyone's going to be, making anything of this level, it's going to be you guys. And so what's your vision now for the brand?
Xavier's vision will launch in Watches and Wonder next year. We've done 2 ratchet pants so far that are both sold out very, very quickly. So undoubtedly we'll come back with another ratchet pant, and we'll see in terms of dials. There's a lot of exploration on different kinds of dials that we can use in different materials. So
fantastic.
That's an area we want to exploit.
Can I ask the prices?
So Czapek on the Antarctic, the prices are 22,700 for both sizes. And on the Kederberg, the price range starts at just under 19,000.
Fantastic. And when you walk into the showroom, what really puts the biggest smile on your face, sir?
For me, I prefer the Kederberg style. I like the original look. And,
let's have a look at that one. Yeah.
Going back to this one, I like that. I prefer wearing watches on straps. So I like the strap look.
Yes.
So the Kederberg was great. But unfortunately, we haven't got it with us. But we did this watch with a green dial, which is very in vogue at the moment, which I thought was quite exceptional.
And can I ask the price on that one, please?
This is 18,800.
Very good, very good. I mean, in terms of what you're getting, you're no longer available, guys. So that for me, using that unique selling point is it's hard to get.
There's a slightly shorter wait in this, around about 9 months, depending on the model. We also do them in gold, and on the gold ones you have enamel dials, and they can engrave a secret sentence, which is unique to the buyer.
Fantastic. So guys, for the guys watching on the channel, what would be the best way to get in contact with yourselves in terms of inquiring about a certain timepiece?
Well, they can either contact me or contact you through your channels.
Yes.
And we can then give them the lead times and
Fantastic.
arrange a presentation, because unfortunately we only have a certain amount of samples that go around in collections, so we have to utilise them as best we can. So, but that's my job, is to go and meet people and to present the watches to them so they can actually see them in the flesh, like you have, because, as you said, that's the important part of it, is to actually see them.
It is, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to see these watches in the flesh to really appreciate them. They're just very personal watches.
Yeah.
I see this as a brand, very personal brand, very personal.
And also, you also, you know, we're both big guys, so it's easier for us to look at a bigger watch. But someone who's perhaps in between, they might need to see the two different sizes of watches to see which one works for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. The dial is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, you do get sort of, they're a bit hypnotic, these watches as well.
Yeah.
When you look at them, you sort of get in a little bit of a trance.
Yeah.
I noticed that last time. And I'll be honest with you, if you're looking at, I'm not trying to say don't look at AP or Patek or anything like that. Of course, they're part of the Holy Trinity. But when you look at these, it is an alternative for me. If you want to be a little bit more different,
Personal.
if you want to be a bit more exclusive, not go with the crowd.
Exactly.
And from what I'm seeing on the secondary market, they're really holding their own. You know, they are top brands, and I think, you know, get into the brand now, because I think as you guys grow, the older you become, as the years go by, I think it's going to be even more difficult to get your hands on one of these. I think the demand will absolutely blow up, sir. I really do, because I remember when I was at WatchPro, you know, when you guys were here as well, and I had a look at them. I never got around to showcasing you guys on the channel, but when I did have a look at the watches, I was like, I can see a big future for these guys. And as you get more exposure, I think you're going to see a lot more celebrities wearing your watches, guys. I've seen it already, to be fair. I've seen, you know, one of the members of the royal family of the Bahrain owns one of your watches.
Oh, wow.
So there you have it, guys.
No, I didn't.
No, so, you know,
There we go.
fantastic, guys, fantastic.
So I'd just like to show you guys now a very new brand called Bianchet. So Bianchet is a tonneau watch. It was started a few years ago by husband and wife team, Rodolfo and Emmanuel. Rodolfo had a very successful business where he created an online trading app for your mobile phone, which he sold, and his whole basis of his business was based on the Fibonacci sequence. So if you look here, you see this, and you see lots of buildings.
Yeah,
proportions generally come to, you see it in buildings, and he's tried to get this whole sequence into his watches.
Fantastic.
So if you look at the side of the cases, the proportions, almost a third to a two-thirds. So at the bottom here, you see the start of the Fibonacci sequence. So you know, we've got 1 + 2 = 3 plus, as it goes on like.
Fantastic.
So we try to get this proportion. So you've got the beading that separates the top and lower cases. So here you've got a carbon fiber tourbillon watch, manually wound.
It's beautiful, isn't it? So this is carbon fibre, is this?
Yeah, this carbon fiber. So the weight of the watch without the strap is 55 grams.
55 grams. I thought you said the price for a minute there. So what's the retail price?
The retail price is another 55.
That's what I was about to say. I thought, okay,
55.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
£55,000. But
So the weight matches the price.
yeah,
Fantastic.
at the moment, yeah. But we can change the colour of the hands, the beading around the side. The first 2 watches were limited to 10.
Oh.
So there are 2
Oh, wow.
versions. There was a blue and a red. One was titanium and one was carbon fibre. But what they've recently done, they've mixed both of them. So what they've done is they've created a
Oh
hybrid.
yeah, look at that.
Look at this.
So here you've got the titanium on the top, the middle case is carbon fibre, and then titanium on the case back.
That is so nice. Look at that, guys.
So as you can see with this one, all the beading is blue, but that is an aesthetic part that can change for different reasons. So now the limited editions, so for the orange and this blue, are 21 pieces worldwide.
Fantastic, fantastic. So if someone was interested in these now, because it's a fairly new brand, how long has it been going for now?
So in fairness, it's probably, they first launched it at Basel in 2019.
2019, okay.
But to the market since last year.
And how accessible are these in the UK?
So again, through me, we're just talking to one London-based retailer to become our first stockist in the UK.
Fantastic.
But we won't have a huge distribution. But we believe that the production will be somewhere in the region of 250 pieces a year.
So it's very,
Wow.
very small.
Yeah.
Very small amount, isn't it?
So very unique, very exclusive. So how did this brand get started?
So it was Rodolfo's and Manuel's love for watches.
Fantastic.
Rodolfo's Italian, so he always grew up with watches, wanted to have watches. He had a very successful business, sold his business, and his first thought was, I'm going to start a watch brand.
And the movement itself, is it in-house or was it?
It's made by a Swiss company.
Okay.
Everything's made in Switzerland.
And it's a tourbillon, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's have a closer look at that.
Get a closer look.
And the hands, do they illuminate?
They do.
On this orange one as
On
well?
the orange one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful, fantastic.
The curvature of the glass
Yeah.
as well.
It's got a curved sapphire crystal, yeah?
So if you look at is that a better angle?
That's right.
Yeah, much better angle, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the detail, guys. It's a piece of art, let's be honest, yeah? Beautiful. Very nice.
So the watch itself, it comes with two straps in the box. So the watches the straps we've got on today are quite neutral, but there's a strap that matches the watch as well, so you get the beading around the strap as well. So if you want to have a bit more of a play with your watch,
So customised,
you can change the straps over, which I think is quite important in watches today, where you're not just buying one watch with one strap. You can, a bit like the Czapek, where you get a second strap, you can change it over. Same here as well, so you can get a different look to the watch.
So what is your role? So you're representing quite a few brands here today.
So my wife and I started off the Deloitte Group 7 years ago, where we started with independent brands. We only work with independent brands, so we started with our first brand was Clock 2, which was two guys in Germany who had an idea about telling the time. We then teamed up with Cyrus and Czapek as sales agents, and over the last few years we've just been gradually talking to people about introducing independent brands to the UK market.
So that's your passion, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the UK market, people love different watches, and that's great. You know, there's so many fantastic brands out there, but there are also so many fantastic brands, and until COVID, nobody ever heard of because they didn't have the time to research them.
Exactly, yeah.
So I try to think of it as just trying to introduce, mainly my role is to introduce watches to retailers and to get the retailers to think about stocking a new brand. So we also deal with private clients as well on some brands, just to introduce them. So if people want to just see different brands, they contact me, we have a coffee, we see different brands, and it's a start. You know, they see a new brand for the first time, and they can go away and think about it, whether they want to buy it, whether they don't want to buy it, or just do research so they can actually make an informed decision about their next watch purchase.
So you've been around since 1995 and you worked for Zenith,
Yes,
didn't you?
I did. Yes, unfortunately, yes, I was a younger man then. But yeah, my first watch brand was Zenith. It was a different brand back then. They made quartz watches as well, and in those days they were still making the movement for the Daytona. So which when I first started nobody believed, and it was a sort of a bogus thing that people were putting out there. But eventually Rolex admitted to it. And
I've got a question for you.
go on then.
The Rolex Daytona and the Zenith version that looks similar,
Yeah.
which is is it called the Chronomaster?
Yes, is it called the new one called the Chronomaster Sport?
That's
Yes,
right.
correct, yes.
I'm not going to tell you which one I go for, but which one would you go for?
Well, that's difficult. If you're being purely commercial, you'd probably pick one. Obviously, Zenith was my first watch brand, so I always look to see what they do, and I worked with Zenith for over 10 years, so it was a passion for me because it changed dramatically in my tenure. So I went from people thinking that the El Primero was something on the side and mainly quartz watches to going through a transition, and now it's found its way again. And I think that the Chronomaster Sport is a fantastic watch. And when I talk to some of the retailers I deal with, they say that it was sold out before it got to some of the stores. And I think they really hit the nail on the head with that watch. And
100%.
I can still remember the first Chronomaster when it came out, which was the moon phase. They made some fantastic movements. But unfortunately, over the years, it just didn't have a secure captain at the helm really. And over the last 5 to 10 years, 2 guys have come in and they've done a really good job of making sure it just carries on the same tradition as it should do. Like most successful brands have done over the years, they don't change very much. They just keep going straight forward, and it takes them a long time. But they keep going in their direction.
So the Zenith is the one you go for?
Absolutely.
Well, look,
the same, 100%.
Well, look, I have to say, you're someone who's really got some real strong commercial experience. You've got some real substance behind what you do, and that is very refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah,
in terms of
100%.
people that we talk to, someone who's been there, got the T-shirt,
Very experienced.
worked your way up to be where you are today, sir, and it shows because you're working with some amazing brands.
Yeah, but we also deal with Ikepod as well, which was one of the original independent brands back in the 90s. So that was one of my a passion for me as well, to start working with him as well, because doing something for almost 30 years was great. It's been through its transitions, went bankrupt, come back again, and all that sort of thing. But so they're a different price point. They're from sort of £600 upwards. So we'd like to think that we can cover for a lot of people different areas, because for lots of people the price is irrelevant really. If they like the watch, they like the watch.
Exactly.
So you don't just have to collect expensive watches. You just got to think about what looks nice and what you like really. So that can be an expensive watch, or it can be a less expensive watch.
Fantastic. So you also represent Cyrus as well.
I do, yes.
Do you want to show us some Cyruses?
I've got one on my wrist that I've been
Oh,
wearing.
fantastic!
No,
Look at
this one up,
that.
to be
We've been
honest.
eyeing this one up,
it's a
and
big watch as well.
I know what it's like to be a magpie now. I've been eyeing that up for a while. So
this is a rather different watch. This is what Cyrus call the dice.
oh wow,
So dice stands for double independent chronograph execution.
Oh wow.
It was first shown apparently by the patents in the late 1900s in New York.
1900s?
Yes, so someone designed it then.
Wow.
But nobody had made a double chronograph until Cyrus did in 2021.
wow,
People today may have seen the new version from MB&F with Max Busser.
Yes.
But Cyrus, this one I'm holding, was launched before Max's. So what you have 2 hands. So you have the red hand, which starts at 12 o'clock. I'll start it off. So that can measure one timing. So we're not talking a Rattrapant here. So
Yep.
the blue hand starts at 6 o'clock, so not to confuse people. So you press the button on the left-hand side, you said.
yeah. And that's how you activate them. That's
Yeah, so
really cool, isn't it? That?
Cyrus is very distinctive. It's got two crowns. Mm-hmm. So on the majority of their watches, both crowns have a function. So if you turn it over,
Oh yes, right. I can see
Look
the
at
2
that,
crowns.
that's really
double
cool,
crowns,
isn't it?
right.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
So it's a bit of innovation. It's using a left hand and a right hand
Yeah.
to activate and trigger the chronograph.
so you can actually measure 2 separate timing intervals. So this watch was created by a famous Swiss watchmaker called Jean-Francois Mojon, who's done lots of work for lots of other brands. He's worked with MB&F, with Czapek, with Hermes. And in the same year, he did during COVID, he did the double chronograph for Cyrus, and he did the Rattrapant for Czapek.
Fantastic. Let's get a close up for the guys on the channel.
Can I ask what the movement is? What movement is that? Is that
It's an in-house Cyrus movement.
it's totally in-house by them?
In-house.
Oh, wow.
All Cyrus movements are made by themselves.
Are they is
really?
it chronometer certified?
No, we don't certify any of our movements. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
a part of Cyrus is Chronod, and there are movement manufacturers. So everything for Cyrus is in-house, apart from the entry-level piece, which is a 3-hand piece.
Beautiful.
It's such a deep watch, even from the dial. It just
Yeah.
goes on and on.
Yeah,
From, you look from the dial in.
That's and one thing is when you've got 2 chronographs on top of each other, they have to sit somewhere, so they sit on top. So it is a deep watch, but as you can see when okay, I'm gonna do the strapper. When it sits on the wrist,
Yeah. Let's zoom out for the guys.
Can I try it on?
so fits well on the wrist, and then to stop them, it's just like 1, 2.
Beautiful.
Can I try it on?
Of course, that's what we're here for.
Thank you.
Try different things on. Pop yours in there.
If it, you
It
want
might
to,
be a bit tight for
you want to do a part
you-
exchange.
Not many people have got bigger wrists.
He's the only watchmaker in the UK that is called the AK the bodybuilder.
Wow, this is even the feel. Just the feel of the chronograph, the way you just click.
So you've got to give it quite a push to get it started, so you don't accidentally start it.
Oh right.
So it's quite a deep push.
And the column wheels are actually painted.
Yes. So it's on different versions. So we've got another version called the Line.
Keep it still, Alex, for a minute.
So the column wheels are changed to the different colours. So we're just launching now. We were hoping to get it for the show, but it's still in production. One called the Racing, which is a red version.
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful.
Very impressive stuff, I have to say. Very.
But it's an amazing watch, and it's the technical aspiration here.
So how many brands do you represent? What's in your portfolio?
So we started with Clock 2, Cyrus, Czapek, Ikepod, Sequence, Bomber. The one behind you is called Pierre de Roche, which is a brand owned by Dubois de Pré, who make the movements for the watch industry. So in total we've got 11 brands. Because we also
11 brands, wow, very impressive.
Do a jewellery brand as well.
And these are the other Cyruses you've got here as well, yeah? Fantastic.
There is an amazing watchmaker.
This is incredible. The finishes is just incredible.
Yeah, Jean-Francois is really. If you talk to people in the Le Chaux de Fonds region, he's a bit like a god. So the Cordera strap, you get 2 straps, and you get a rubber strap as well.
That's one of 50.
Yeah, the newer versions are even tighter. So the Line one that's in the counter, which has been sold, is that was one of 10, and then the new Racing is one of 15. Watches at this price point.
How much is that?
35.
Oh,
it's not bad compared with the ratchet band. It's just, but even at that price point, I still think that having it limited to 10, 15 pieces is enough, because you want the difference is, I think, with independent brands, when you buy one, you're buying it for yourself. You're making a decision to buy something completely different, and you don't want to sit on everybody's wrist. And that's why it's going to be a small limited edition.
Well, when you get a watchmaker's approval, then
it's stunning.
It's something valid.
Honestly, that's impressive. Just to see it in the flesh.
But then, it's just. But that's the interest of some of these brands, and unfortunately that's what we need to try and get across, and it takes time. It takes time to do that. People are so used to the mainstream brands. Independents are a little bit away from that at the moment, but they're getting there. They're working hard, and gradually people are understanding. People are writing more articles about independent brands. You guys are showing more independent brands, so that's getting the message across. And gradually people are looking, and that's the first step. It's not whether someone buys a watch; it's look at it, see it, understand it, and
touch and feel.
Know the watches. But there's so much more to watches than just what you see in the high street.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Fantastic. I mean, I have to say, so you've given us a great insight to all the brands that you're representing today. I wish you guys the best of luck. Not that you're going to need it, because the timepieces really speak for themselves.
Thank you.
Thanks for the insight, and it's been an absolute delight, and I think the guys on the channel will be really, really happy to see these watches today. And Alex, you've done a great job today so far, Alex. I'm not sure you're due for a pay rise yet. I'd have to think about it. But
any questions, you just let me know.
Yeah, well, we're going to be here tomorrow, so it'll be more leisure for me. I'll get to put them on my wrist tomorrow. I'm not a bodybuilder like Alex, but it'll be more of a normal man to see how they fit on a normal wrist.
We've got some normal size watches as well.
Fantastic.
Luckily, Alex is more my wrist size.
Thank you, guys.
Not body shape, but
fantastic. Well, thank you, sir, for your time, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Take care. Nice to meet you, Alex.